What's up, Dom?
I don't know, episode 3.
Episode 3, bro.
Time flies like crazy. This is the place to be.
This is dope.
Like every single episode, we're going higher and higher, and this place, I absolutely love it.
Monday Night Brewing, man.
Yeah.
This beer garden here in Charlotte is amazing. So they got an amazing story. We're gonna hear Amanda's story in a little bit. The GM.
Yep.
She's gonna talk about how this place came together. But brother, man, how you doing?
No, it's busy, but busy is good. You know, I absolutely love it. You know, the summertime just kicked in. A little bit delayed this year.
Well, it's Charlotte, so you get the winter in the morning.
Yeah, exactly.
You get the summer in the afternoon. So, you know, who knows
what was gonna happen. But allergies, but we're here.
Allergy season.
Yeah, guys.
Bro, it's killing me.
Yeah,
like, I need a whole new face.
I know. But you know, the most important is we are here and you're doing great things. You know, today we're gonna such a great
Santiago Strong, that's right. Eric and Cynthia are gonna be our guests. And, you know, I met them through another, through a mac and cheese competition at the print shop over in Fort Mill.
There you
go. It was pretty chill. I lost.
Listen, but you participated.
I participated.
Like a challenge accepted.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it, you know.
But you're a hip hop artist, right?
Born and raised.
Originally from Poland.
Yep.
So how did something like that happen?
To be honest, I gotta keep real 100%, you know. The music was always in my life, you know. My father, he used to be like disc jockey, you know, like legit DJ, you know. He worked in a radio station. So since I was a kiddo, I'm talking about even younger than my son, made the grade, I was playing with the vinyl records, you know. So instead of like, you know, playing with the, you know, I don't know, the action figures, you know, cars, I was playing with the vinyl records, you know. That was already introduction to the music, you know.
Right.
And after this, somehow, because of my father, evolved in a passion. And I'm the social creature, you know. So I fell in love, you know. And like I said, I'm this social creature, so I like to be surrounded by music, so concerts.
So I gotta throw you on the spot. So would you mind doing like, I don't know, a couple lines?
Man.
Come on. Something, just improv.
Listen,
even if it's Biggie, it was all a dream. I used to read Word Up magazine. Salt and Pepper, Heavy D, and then
Listen, I'm a little bit rusty. I'm not gonna lie. I'm too much into real estate right now than hip hop.
I know.
I love hip hop to the fullest, you know.
I'm just saying, if you're feeling like freestyling, you know, by all means, the floor is yours.
Okay, so what you choose to focus on becomes your reality. Discipline kills doubt, action kills anxiety. Against all odds, like Moses in the Red Sea, sky is the limit. I respect the gravity. I'm the rare breed, I'm unstoppable. Hip-hop filter, I'm unpredictable. But you know what, I'm gonna stop, but not because of I'm lazy. I'm just chilling like a villain with my bro Juan, and my beer is hazy. Cheers.
Cheers. Hey, you guys are in for a great episode. You're here at Monday Night Brewing in the heart of Charlotte in South End. We're super grateful for the Monday Night Brewing for having us here. The Travel People Podcast, that's who you're listening to. I'm JV, this is Dominic. 803-280-4727 is my number.
And my number 347-447-4765, you know. And big shout out to famous
So we're back here with the Travel People Podcast with our special guests from Santiago Strong, Eric and Cynthia Buter. Hey guys.
Hello.
How you
Welcome
doing?
to the show.
Great to be here. We're so excited.
Yeah? I'm honored to be sitting next to you guys. Tell us a little bit about Santiago Strong and what was the inspiration behind this organization that you guys founded?
So the foundation is founded from our son Santiago. He was born in 2010. Our firstborn, and you know, I didn't want to get emotional right away, but you know, he's my firstborn son. You know, my best friend. We were connected at the hip. Just an amazing kid. Loved sports, everything sports. Loved to dance and sing, and just loved life. Just an amazing little boy, and unfortunately, in 2018. He was diagnosed with DIPG, which is a terminal form of brain cancer. At his diagnosis, you know, we rallied. We decided we were going to be the ones that beat it. We were going to be the ones that did it by, you know, fighting with love and strength. And we did. We initially started our campaign at St. Jude in Memphis, Tennessee. And we had an amazing experience there. The people at St. Jude are worth every dollar that they make. It's just such an amazing place, and Santiago felt so loved. Between there and the Ronald McDonald House, they really did a great job of taking care of us. And Santiago got to show his energy and his life to all of them. They fell in love with Santiago the way everybody else did. And then, unfortunately, things took a turn for the worse, which does with this type of cancer. And we ended up at Cincinnati Children's Hospital, where Santiago continued to fight. Then, unfortunately, in 2020, he passed away. And that's the inspiration for the Santiago Strong Foundation. The thing that Santiago did is he lived. He owned every second that he was on this planet, and he gave it to somebody else, which is absolutely amazing. And during his fight, one of the craziest parts is he didn't want it to be about him. He wanted it to be about everybody else. So he wanted to donate to other groups. He wanted to be a part of everything else. He didn't want it to be his name. The best way we can say thank you is to pay it forward.
That's right.
And so now we go out and we help other families who are fighting the IPG. And we like to do is we were able to keep our family unit together, and that helped his fight. Having his mother, his sister there, along with my mother and nieces and nephews, we all rallied around him, and that was such a strong part of his fight. So we want to give that back to other families, and the only way they can do that is by taking some of their financial burdens. So they might not have to make a mortgage payment or something. Then the mom and dad doesn't have to separate. They can both be at the treatment.
So the foundation is basically centered to help those individuals during and after, correct?
Yeah, and that can look very different for each family, right? So each family, it can look a little different. So depending on if your child is diagnosed with DIPG, let's say like in our case, at the time, there was not a clinical trial available for us in Charlotte, right? So we had to travel. So that included travel expenses, us being away from home. We needed help with mortgage because we had to stay at St. Jude for X amount of time of months, right? So it really depends. Some families have the opportunity where they have a clinical trial in their backyard.
Right.
So all they really need is just maybe travel expenses for gas. So to just, from home to the hospital. So for each family, that looks a little different. So we were, our foundation, we've been fortunate enough that we have raised over $80,000. And that has gone,
Yes, that is a big.
Because when we started this, we didn't know how this was going to go, but we have been able to raise over $80,000, and that has gone directly to different families. So we help to pay, whether it's for gas, mortgage, car payments. It might be for hotel stays, for just food. Currently, right now, we are helping a family in Atlanta. We have been able to pay their mortgage payments for a few months and their car payments for a few months. So, we are so super honored that we're able to give back to these families. And, for me, like Santiago, like he had said, Santiago is an amazing soul. Santiago loved his family. Santiago loved life. Santiago loved music, dance. He loved everything about it. And I want people to remember Santiago for who he was, not for what happened to him. Right?
Well, his legacy obviously is living on right here.
Every day.
And what you're doing continues that path and that plight for him, so that his life is remembered beyond and echoes and transitions through this process, right?
Yes.
But, one of the things that I find so amazing is that you can speak on it because you were able to live through this emotional roller coaster, and you had friends, from what I understand, and family members that supported you guys, but it was a struggle. And knowing that you have this incredible foundation right now that you're able to provide for others is amazing. Tell me a little bit about the ink on your hand.
Okay, so for me, I don't know if you guys can see it, it's a little covered, but I have two particular names. I have Ozzy and I have Sunny. And there's gonna be some more names. Ozzy, when we first started our foundation, Ozzy was a little boy that somebody shared his story on Facebook, and I read about his story. At the time, Ozzy was 2 years old. And when I read his story and his family saying that they were just diagnosed, I said, oh my goodness, we have to help this family. And I remember at our first one of our first events, we had was it a shoe memorial?
Yep.
Or buddy bench?
The buddy bench.
We had a Santiago Strong buddy bench at his school. We put a bench by the basketball courts because he loved basketball. Of course, loves sports.
Yeah.
So when we had the little unveiling, we had announced that we were going to help a little boy who was 2 years old at the time, and his name was Ozzy. So Ozzy, they live in Oregon, and oh my goodness. So what I want to say about our foundation is not only about giving a check to a family, it's making that connection. So, like there's a lot of foundations right out there, and there's a lot of big foundations, but what I like to make different about us is that families who are going through the fight, they can call us. They can say, hey, hello, I'm having a bad day, or
sure.
How do I do this, or how did you handle that? All our families that we help can actually call us. Like, they can call us. I come home and Eric is talking to families constantly, every single day, saying, hey, this happened today, XYZ with my child. How did you guys handle this? Or how did you guys handle this situation? So we like to make that personal connection. So Ozzy was our first family, and we went out there and we visited them. We try to visit each and every one of our families. I mean, hands down. So we made a connection with Ozzy. We went to go visit his family in Kentucky. Actually, next week, we're going to go. Kentucky Christian University is actually doing a fundraising event for the foundation.
Okay.
And that's because we helped Ozzy, right? So after Ozzy gained his angel wings, we were like, okay, you know what? So every family we help, I need to put their names on me, because you know what? At the end of the day, their names will not be forgotten.
That's right.
Every day, I will say their names. And even as a parent that lost a child, even any parents who lose a child, all they really want is to hear their child's name, to know that their child is not forgotten, and that no matter what happened to their child, their child's life mattered.
That's right.
So I have Ozzy's name tattooed on my arm, and then Sonny. Sonny is very special to me as well. Sonny is actually a family in Monroe, another family that our foundation helped, very local, 20 minutes away from our home. We helped their family. We would go over and play Uno with them. We took them out to dinner. I mean, they became our family instantly.
Wow.
And after she gained her angel wings, I said, Sonny's coming on my arm. And now we still spend time with them. And what's amazing about that is you think about how your actions affect somebody else. So because we helped them and we had the foundation, we shared our story with them, then Sonny's mom, Jade, decided, you know what, I'm going to start a foundation. So she started a foundation called Santiago Strong, and their mission is that they help families in the aftermath, to help pay with medical bills or anything else that in the aftermath of their story.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, these children that we help, they're gonna stay with us forever. I will always say their name. Their lives, their names matter. So.
It really is inspirational. I know Dom has Nate the Great.
Yep.
And he's downstairs somewhere making noise, making chaos.
Yep.
And I've got a son ready to go to college.
There you go.
Right?
That's the big step.
I mean, wow. I mean, letting him go off on his own. Tonight he's doing something on his own, but it's so scary.
Yep.
But, what's scarier is the plight that you guys have been on and continue to be on. And we're so grateful that you guys are courageous enough to come on here and share your story and help others, encourage others to come forward and speak out and release that pain and enter the world and tell them, hey, we're still suffering and we're still, but this is part of the process, and you guys are giving back in more ways than I can ever imagine. I don't even know or can explain or fathom what you're going through right now.
Yeah, but I just want to focus about this one aspect, because I was listening, you running your foundation as beautiful, now, and we go doing it's not like corporate. A lot of this foundation running like corporate, to go over there, you hit the receptionist and that's it, end of story. And after that, maybe you're gonna receive the check, but it's just a check,
Yes.
And here there's a personal touch, like you said, you're on the phone with them, you talk to them, you support them by regular connection, human to human, and because you can relate, because you've been this trauma. And I absolutely love this, the model of the foundation. Like, yes, we are here, and if you like, we're gonna drive here, we're gonna high five, we're gonna support, we're gonna hug, and this is like priceless. You know?
Yeah, it is.
This is different.
It's amazing, and then also, as you know, we're all in red or in somewhat of red. So red was Santiago's favorite color, and when he was in his fight, he would wear his red sneakers. So the red shoes are a big thing.
Right. When we're all wearing. I don't know if you got that.
And what's great is that when we were at St. Jude, everybody recognized us as like the family with the red shoes. Like, oh, you guys are always wearing red. But Santiago loved red, so it just kind of took a life of its own, right?
Yeah.
So we kind of like that's now a thing for our foundation. You know, we wear red shoes. We share the stories with the families that we help about the red shoes. And I have to share with Ozzy's family, when I reached out to Ozzy's family, it was his grandmother that I reached out first. And I remember I called her and, you know, I introduced myself and she was crying. And I told her, I said, I want to tell you that you're not alone.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, like, and she, to this day, like she says, all I needed to hear was that in that moment.
Yeah.
She was like, she knew that, you know, that her family was dealing with this, you know, horrible thing and that there was no cure. But all she needed was somebody to tell her that she wasn't
that's
alone.
just a simple
Right,
lie.
just a simple lie.
Honest,
Yeah.
straightforward. Yeah.
But it's genuine.
It's
It's
just
genuine,
And
exactly.
And it's different when it comes from somebody who's been there.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I've walked your street and now I know that you're not alone because
Yeah.
we're literally in your back pocket whenever you need us. It's
Yeah.
just,
We've been in these shoes and this
Correct.
situation.
Yep.
you need that.
Yeah, because like someone say like everyone will be alright, but what you know about this situation? Like what you saying? But if you hear like from you guys, this is different. This hit
It is different.
hit straight to the heart. Yeah.
Now, what's
I love
great
it.
is that, so, you know, as we shared the story about the red shoes and the color red, I remember, like, you know, like a couple months later on, she had texted me and she said, you know what, it was a bad day. Ozzy wasn't doing well. So she said, you know, they were driving out of her driveway and it just a coincidence. They saw a pair of red shoes at the end of their driveway. So my heart melted because she said in that moment, she took it as that was a sign, that was Santiago's wink. That was almost a wink to say, you're not alone. Like, I'm here with you.
Right.
And even though it's kind of, you know, yes, we know it's a terminal cancer, but she's like, those pair of red shoes, it was just to let her know that it's going to be okay. And my heart just melted because I said, you know what, this is why we're doing what we're doing, right?
And sometimes that hope.
It's just that sign of
that's a
hope.
symbol, that's a statement. Like, you know, Superman sign, you know, the red shoes. I
And
absolutely
I'm
love
sure
it.
every time she walks by and sees somebody with red shoes, she smiles from them because I know I do.
Yeah.
When I'm telling you I have nothing but red shoes, my slippers are red.
I heard this story.
I cut the grass in red shoes. I do not
I'm
own-
like-
if they don't make it in red, I don't. Own
Yeah,
it.
see ya.
But people remember it. They notice it.
Yeah.
And when Santiago was going through it, I'm introverted by nature. He's kind of that way at first, but people got to know us. And then I remember, I'll never forget a family whose son had a different type of brain cancer. She knocked on her door and she said, all I know you guys has is the red shoes.
Wow.
But I saw you and your son playing
That's-
today, and she goes, that got me through today.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's all she said, and she walked away. I'm still in touch with her family. Her son is in remission and doing absolutely amazing right now.
Wow.
And his thing is blue glasses. So he's got really royal blue glasses. And she goes, I think about that. I want you to have red. She's like, one day I'm going to buy you blue glasses. But she remembers the red shoes, and she says it all the time. If I see somebody, and I'll get a random text. They live in Canada. And I get messages from her all the time. And again, it's just part of that connection. It's something small.
That's
but you know,
amazing.
every day you just need that one little thing to get you by, and that's it.
And you know, the real big takeaway is that I know that this is a hard subject for anybody to
Right. I
you
mean,
know, like,
when
take on, understand.
I
right?
wasn't sure how we were going to do this segment, and
Yeah.
for a lot of people who follow me, the Travel People podcast is about travel. It's about, you know, talking right now. Our series is Flights on Flights. Thank you, Monday Night Brewing. But, you know, it really was important for us to pivot because my heart has always been in philanthropy. And when we met you at the print shop, we knew that you were like the family. We knew that we gelled. Besides, we like the same things, you know. Puerto Ricans, you know, the Latino thing, you know, we gel, we had this thing going on, but no, the vibe was there, but more so we felt the wholesomeness and the genuineness of your story. But I wanted to touch back on something you said earlier, being that Monday Night Brewing, I got to plug them, I'm sorry, but
this is probably one of my favorite breweries now. Because not because I'm coming here, and we're doing the show, but this is really a cool vibe here. This location in Charlotte, in South End, I've been corrected several times, all right? In South End, folks. This place is really happening. I love the centric vibe, everything that they come across and they do here. But their beers, their drinks are part of that process. But they started in Atlanta, and we're going to get on that story shortly. But you said something about a family in Atlanta that you were working with.
Yeah, we actually had two families in Atlanta. Rosalie is the family that we're currently helping that lives right outside of Atlanta.
Yep.
Beautiful little girl. And just, she's in the beginning of her fight.
Okay.
And, I think she just had a positive MRI where her tumor is stable, so that's like the best news a parent could hear. And she's just such an amazing little spirit that she has. And every time they send us a picture or they talk to us about something, you feel like goosebumps. She's such a sweet girl that doesn't deserve this, but she's taking it with a smile. Her family has wrapped their arms around them, and now we're part of that family. And again, she knows that anytime she wants to make a phone call, and again, right before her last MRI, she called us and she just told us I'm scared. And I'm like, well, we're here, and you call me every minute you're waiting, I'm going to be on the other line of the phone. And she called us with the great news, so we were super excited for her. And then unfortunately we had another child in Atlanta named Soraya, who just recently passed away from her case. She was a younger child. Her picture is on our flyer, and actually before we walked upstairs, I took a picture of her daughter on the flyer to tell her mother, your baby girl's here with me right now, and we're going to talk about her, and you're going to hear her name. And it's part of that special connection that we talked about. Like, it doesn't end because your baby got angel wings. I'm not going to stop talking to you. We still talk every week, probably 2 or 3 times. But I know she needed to hear that. She's going through it right now. She's having a hard time dealing with it. And for her to see her child on that banner, she knows Charlotte, North Carolina is saying her baby's name. And again, like I said, it's that little thing that I know she probably needed. I know I needed it when we first started. So it's a great connection. Again, she's comes from an amazing family, and I did go to the service and got to hear her other sisters speak and just see what it really looked like. And they all thanked us and everything. I'm like, no, you shared your child with us. I can't ask for any better gift to receive. And so again, now Soraya is another one that we're going to hold in our heart. And like I said, I'm always going to say her name as well.
Right.
Yeah, and I think the biggest takeaway is that being that this is a hard thing for anyone to kind of grasp and handle. But I think for us, the biggest takeaway is if we can pass along to let everyone know, or for anything, it's like just be there for someone who is at their lowest.
Right.
Like, it doesn't have to be to support our cause, but just to be there when someone is down and out. Like, because we can't go through this world by ourselves. I don't care what anybody says. If you're that person that says, I can do this myself. No, at the end of the day, when hard things happen, you have to do it with a friend, right? Like, you cannot, you can only get through hard things with a friend. So, if anything, just being there for people who are at their lowest point, then
a nice gesture can change your day.
Yeah.
And that day might turn into a week, and that week might turn into a year. You never know what's the catalyst for change, and it could be that one person that looked at you and said, hey, are you okay? Like, you need to talk to somebody. That small little thing helped us tremendously so many times. And if we could ever teach anybody anything, is just be that person today for someone else.
And even for the young, like my daughter, she's 12 now, just for her friends, just being there for someone who is having a bad day. Like, then you know what, we've done our job. Just be there for someone who is, just be a good person, help people out. I think that's really, in our society, especially now, just to be there for your friends and your loved ones. I think that's the biggest takeaway that I hope people can take from our foundation. Really.
And it's a great segue, because I want to give a shout out to a good friend of mine, Matt Gleaves in Indiana, who has decided to sponsor the show. And he has a company called Confined Space Coffee. And it really, a portion of what they earn goes to mental health programs. And a lot of what we're talking about is dealing with mental health, the aftermath of stuff like this. So shout out to Matt. Thank you so much. We're truly honored to have him as a sponsor. And we'll throw up some socials on how people can reach Matt and order his amazing coffee. But also, my good friend Ernesto Hernandez, who, he has been a true and near and dear partner of this show, continuously supporting us in all our ventures with Carolina Outdoor Clothing. So we're truly honored that he continues doing that. But, I wanted to ask you a couple final questions, but how can people join this movement that you've started, this campaign for Santiago Strong Foundation?
So if people ever want to donate or reach out to us, they can go to the santiagostrong.org website. They can click on donation, or they can click on events to kind of see what kind of current events we're doing. We have a fun fundraising event every year. We have the mac and cheese cook-off,
which I lost.
But shout out for participation.
And you killed it. You were in the
But
top
I,
five.
I keep hearing that everybody, like, there's a lot of people that I know that said, "Oh, I really like their mac and cheese." So
Next year.
Next year, I'm gonna participate with the Polish mac and cheese.
There you go. See,
I'm
now
here.
I got too much. Now I'm gonna have to add arroz con gandules to my mac and cheese.
Let's go.
So
Yeah, but we do have a Facebook page, the Santiago Strong Facebook page,
Yes.
and that's probably the best way because they can see what current events are happening. We do have a bowling event every summer as well because Santiago love bowling.
Okay.
And,
Anything competitive.
yep, we
Love
are
it.
going to actually with the Sunny Strong Foundation because our family that we help, they started their own foundation. We're
Beautiful.
actually going to partner up with them, and we're actually doing an event with them in August.
nice.
So we're going to be doing an event with them. So
Uno
an
competition.
Uno competition.
Uno
go.
competition.
Uno's
So
big
get your
right
Uno
now.
game on.
I see you.
Just saying, get your Uno game on.
But
It's not
it's gonna-
house rules though. That's the hardest part. It's
Oh boy. Oh
stacking.
boy.
I was heartbroken.
Yeah, but there'll be food trucks and a DJ. It's gonna be a
It'll be
good
a fun time.
event.
That's
Okay.
Let's
So it'll be
go.
fun. So obviously, they can always donate to the SantiagoStrong.org Foundation. Obviously, just go to our website. We always constantly doing things. We try to let people know what we're doing and the families that we're currently helping. So that's pretty much the best way they can help support us right now.
So Evelisa and I have an undisclosed amount that we're gonna go ahead and commit and pledge to. So just want to let you guys know. I don't want to get emotional, but
Don't get
I'm
emotional.
trying not to, but it's just,
Don't get emotional.
it's just, I mean,
3 seconds?
I just,
I thought I was gonna last an hour. 3 seconds.
So tell us about the bear behind us,
Oh.
because
Okay, so the bear is kind of a fun story. When Santiago was in his fight in St. Jude, somebody brought up, it's called Monkey in My Chair. It's a foundation that you can call and they'll put him like a life-size monkey in the chair in school so that his classmates could see that that you're never missing.
Oh,
and so it
wow.
always sits in his chair at school.
Wow.
And so we heard about
Wow.
the story, but we never really did it. Like it wasn't a thing.
Wow.
But our goal was to get back into the classroom, and he was able to get back into the classroom, so we didn't think anything of it. But then, unfortunately, after he passed, his school year was still going, and I had talked to the teacher and the students, and they felt some kind of way about it too. So I went and we bought this giant dog, and we decided to put it in his chair and let it sit there for the rest of the school year. And then it's turned into this mascot, and it's a little crazy, but it fills his seat. So like when I'm driving, he sits in the chair that Santiago used to sit in the car.
Right.
Whenever we go to one of my daughter's events, the bear is front and center, and it's a dog named Bear, which is kind of funny. But he sits and he watches every event she has. And the hardest part for me was afterwards. I was so used to flying with Santiago, and I held his hand whenever the plane took off because I was scared to fly. But then when the first time I had to fly, I was a wreck. So I took the bear with me, and the bear sits on my lap, and I hold his hand when the flight takes off.
That's got to be an interesting flight, though, right?
Yeah.
When you
And
get
he's
on,
a monster
you
bear.
know.
They always
And-
ask this grown man, "Why do you have this
And
bear?"
I mean, and believe me, if they were like, "Hey, you got to check that," I'm like, "Oh, we're gonna fight." But the bear sits on my lap, and they always ask for it. Does he have a ticket? I get all the same jokes. But he legit sits on my lap every single flight we go. We're gonna go to see Ozzy's family. The bear's gonna be in the car for the whole trip and be there for it. It's turned into kind of like a mascot. But again, it started off with it fills his seat. So like the very first time I drove in the car and I looked back and didn't see Santiago sitting in his seat, it was crushing. So to be able to now look back and I see the bear, I don't feel that weight so much. And like I said, whenever I'm feeling low, the bear is with me all day. Again,
Wow.
you never know. And some days he'll just be sitting in. The funniest part is I'll be driving with the Jeep with the top down, blasting music, and the bear sitting shotgun, and it's hilarious.
And what's great is that the bear even went to France with us.
Oh,
nice.
Like, went to the Eiffel Tower.
Took pictures of the Eiffel Tower, the Louvre.
The bear goes everywhere.
I love that.
He's got miles, and again, it's turned into a good thing. My daughter loves it. She took her school pictures that year with the bear, holding the bear. It's turned into, again, it's got a life of its own.
Yeah.
But it's a cool thing, again, like I said, it does fill a seat. But I think when we go to like the schools, we're going to go visit Buford Elementary and Van Wyck Elementary because they raise money for us. The bear comes with us. The kids look forward to it.
Yeah.
I
That's
get
awesome.
crazy pictures of all the kids hugging the bear. It's a lot of fun. And again, it's kind of like our mascot. It also kind of like having Santiago still sitting in the room.
Yeah, I can tell like everything with you guys is a beautiful, like this bear. It's not just it's a statement. It's a hope. It's like.
Don't worry, Dominic. I'm gonna make a life-size Dominic doll, and every time I travel, I'm gonna put Dominic on my lap.
Let's suffer together first, and after.
And it's gonna have this pull thing where it's gonna rap.
Rap in a thick Polish accent. Yeah.
I want to see this bear.
I love the symbol.
But it's proof that dogs can fly on your lap. Just letting you know.
Dogs can fly in your
Listen,
lap.
whatever you're going to travel with JFK, I work over there 7 years for Emirates Airlines. I got you,
Yeah.
I got you.
I took
Any
a picture.
problems, we got to call.
I took a picture of the sign on the way in where it says dogs are allowed outside but not inside. I took a picture with it and put the bear underneath it. I was like, he's my emotional support.
There you go. There you go.
He's allowed in here.
Listen, now
I
that you
think
have,
the
That's
next
good.
time, I told Eric, the next time we have an event here, we're gonna have the dog named Bear, a mascot. He's
That's
gonna
it.
walk around, interact
Oh,
with
she
people.
wants,
Brilliant.
she wants me to dress up
Love
as
it.
the mascot and dance around as the bear. I don't know if
Well,
I
it
can
doesn't
pull
have to be you. It can be just the bear.
listen,
I-
I can. Okay, you got
go,
me.
you
You
got
got me.
All right, so
bear
I'm glad he
wants
said
to
because
I got you. Like,
off the
2
hook.
to 3 hours are
Off
gonna
the hook.
survive.
You heard it here first.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Dog named Bear mascot.
we're truly grateful that you were able to come on and share this amazing story.
Yeah.
One of my objectives here was to really bring forth the Santiago Strong Foundation to the forefront of my listeners, my viewers, and just everyone in this great community in Charlotte. Once again, thank you to Monday Night Brewing, and you guys are in for a treat because upcoming next is Amanda, the GM, here at this beautiful beer garden. So you don't want to miss this.
Let's go, guys. Thank you. It's in the middle. Let's go.
All right, get down this. Drink.
That rhymed with me. Oh my gosh. I'm not gonna tell you how young I was when I started, but
You want a straw?
I'm not gonna cut this out of the segment.
You can do this as a bloopers, Okay, guys.
Thank you, brother. Me. All right, so we're back here with Amanda at Monday Night Brewing in Charlotte, in South End. All
Nice
right,
to be.
in South End. But I'm gonna let Amanda disclose what her role is here because I've been corrected already once too many times, and I made a bet that as many times that I need to be corrected that I'll drink a beer. But that's okay with me. But I don't know about them.
Let's go.
oh, good. So you didn't get it wrong, totally. So I was the general manager here at Monday Night Garden Co. when we first opened, almost 2 years ago. So we're coming up on our 2-year anniversary in June.
Nice.
So I've been with Monday Night Brewing for about 2.5 years, and now my official job title, it's a bit of a mouthful, but I'm regional director for hospitality, and I'm the beverage director for the entire company. So.
So you're like the VP. In
Whoa.
No.
We can't use
I
that.
still have multiple bosses I report to, absolutely. But I do make an impact
There
in
you
a lot
go.
of different places and a lot of different spaces.
I'm just saying that's a big title.
And to make impact, that's the meaning of the job, like you're doing, like you pull the strings, like So great.
I actually, now it's to the point I don't necessarily pull all the strings myself, but I just help be like, oh, maybe you should pull that string.
There you
and
go.
then they do it, and they pull it, and I go, whoa, look what you did, y'all are amazing.
Mic drop. That's how. And after you take your whole credit, and I'm like, yeah, that's how we do it.
The higher up the ladder you go, the more you realize you have to take all the blame, and you have to share all of the goodness.
Real
so
talk.
Whenever everything is good, it's not your fault. Whenever everything is bad, it's usually all your fault.
We know.
So real quick, I really appreciate that you took us on this offer to do the next episode of the Travel People podcast
so
to talk
much.
Flights on Flights, right, at this amazing beer garden that you have in Charlotte. And we met by way of proxy because we have a friend in common, Ernesto Hernandez, who, once again, he is the sponsor of our podcast, Carolina Outdoor Clothing. And but tell me a little bit about who Amanda is. Where did Amanda's career start? I heard a story about Disney.
Okay, let's go.
Now, I saw a lot of Disney. Don't get me wrong. I saw a lot of Disney product, and it's great. DRE is the way. I work for Disney contracts. That's another lifetime ago. But tell me a little bit about Disney.
Okay, so we have even more corrections to do. First of all, I want to say thank you both for being here and for joining us with our community here. That's what we're all about.
Pleasure and honor.
Monday Night Brewing, bringing beer culture and community culture
Place
together.
to be.
Yeah.
So your question is tell you a little bit about Amanda.
Yeah.
So I moved here to Charlotte probably about 5-ish years ago, right during the pandemic, and I moved here.
That's a good time.
Yeah, that was a trouble time.
So
Right.
let's go. Let's move.
Nobody
The
can
world
see
is
your
shut
face,
down.
you know.
I'm a little bit rusty. Let's travel. It's pandemic. Let's go.
I did move from Orlando, Florida. I worked for Universal Studios for almost 9 years, and so that is the theme park
all right.
connection.
All right.
So while I can't say I did Disney, I can't say I worked for the other big dogs like right down the street.
Okay.
And
All
a
right.
lot of similar practices happen.
But if you're gonna sue us because of your misinformation, I'm always just co-hosting.
Hey, I have some really cool clients that I can't mention, but you know they're going to be watching and they know me. They know they're part of the
Precisely.
Universal family. So I gotcha. And I'm a Universal specialist too. So I'm just saying, I get it. I get
Universal has way better rides.
They
no
do.
shade, no shade
Now-
to the D, the big.
And they got
big-
better
the
beer
big-
too. They got some cool beers at Universal now. So they got really cool stuff going
And
on.
a new
But
theme park's going to open up. Sorry, I'm not plugging Universal.
I know,
I'm
but
just
here
saying,
we
there's a
are.
lot of
Plug
cool
it.
stuff happening.
See, this is how that happens.
Yeah, if you're gonna cut the check to support podcasts and Monday Brewing, let's go. Let's go. I'm just saying.
So this segment is brought to you by Universal Studios.
You know, who's very generous.
But moving along, tell me a little bit about this vibe because I fell in love the minute I walked in.
Off the chain. I'm like, what?
Yeah, this vibe is crazy.
Garden Cove vibe. So I guess we really should start with like Monday Night Brewing vibe.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Like Monday Night Brewing has been around now for going on 14 years in August.
Wow.
Yeah, that's crazy
That's
to think.
insane.
So Monday Night Brewing started out by these 3 gentlemen, Jeff, John, and Joel. They met at a Bible study, and honestly, they couldn't get enough of each other's company. And they also had like a love of beer that they couldn't stop talking about. So they started brewing beer in a bathtub.
Bathtub, I love
moved
it.
into a garage.
Legendary.
And then it became this like thing that happened every Monday night. They'd meet up in their garage and they'd brew beer, and it got to a point where they couldn't drink it all. So they started inviting their neighbors.
Challenge accepted.
And Monday Night Brewing became this sort of like community vibe in and of itself. And then these guys were like, we know how to run a business.
Yeah.
We love what we're doing with beer. We're good at it. So they launched Monday Night Brewing with 2 beers. Now we have hundreds of beers.
Yay.
We're a distillery. We are looking at expanding our company to even bigger and crazier things. We have a vodka, a gin, a rum, a rye, a bourbon. We have our own tequila products. We have our own ready-to-drink products. We're about to launch a bitters company. So Monday Night Brewing, they started with 2 beers, and now it's like they're just hungry to be a part of everything that's growing with the world and give quality. two quality people
Yeah.
around a table. Make it
Shoot,
quality.
I want to quit my job and come work for them.
I'm like, just going way
Like,
faster than my career.
Right? Look, I'll start real simple. This space right here, I can live in this space.
Yeah.
Just, pay me in beer and pizza. I'm good with that.
Yeah, me
and
too.
just a little space. I have a bathroom. I use, I'll be fine.
You could almost kind of set up here, in our little private area.
Yeah, but you mentioned so many products, So this, how many locations? Everything happening in this one particular location, and because that sounds like whole enterprise, like from the vodka to bourbon to beer.
It's a lot. You're
Yeah.
right. So we're across 4 different states,
Ooh,
and we have
talk to us.
6 tap rooms.
Uh-huh.
And actually, each tap room, every tap room comes from the Monday Night mothership, but we all have our own vibe.
Yeah.
Like you were like, tell me about Garden Cove vibe, and I was like, at the end of the day, we are Monday Night Brewing, but our vibe is very South End.
Yeah.
We're very much a part of Charlotte
Oh, yeah.
community.
Yeah.
And so you say, talk about the different bar programs. For example, Birmingham, they don't have any distilled spirits.
Gotcha.
Whereas we are a distillery for our distilled spirits. So it's
Gotcha.
interesting making a beverage program that sort of needs to highlight our product and also be able to be used highlighting others' products.
Yeah.
But the beer flows at every tap room. So that is definitely one huge culture piece of where we came from. The juice is it, all of them.
So we got Bama, we got NC,
We got NC, we got
and we got Georgia.
Atlanta 2 times.
Georgia 2 times.
One in West Midtown,
Uh-huh.
and then one
Got
is
it.
the garage.
The OG.
Yes, so Lee Street and Traybert. Those are
Okay.
the 2 streets that the Atlanta. Then we've got 2 in Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Nashville
house.
and Knoxville.
Wow.
Yes.
Place to be.
Hey,
There
you know
you go.
what?
Yeah.
And you know what's great about all these locations? You call me to get there. 803-280-4727. Shameless plug, but I'm going to say it. Hey, Cruise Platters Travel People sponsors this podcast, and we can't do it obviously without. And I'm hoping my producer will come on camera real quick, because this man right here, and he's shaking his head, but this man right here, he does so much more than he needs to, and he deals with my text messages, he deals with my phone calls, but he's been doing it so passionately. We know each other for a long time. I'm so grateful to Travis, but I love the eclecticness. I love the fact that you have so many different vibes, so many different locations, because when people come to the South, they think it's just one culture, but it's totally different in Tennessee than what it is in South Carolina or in Georgia or even Florida. Shoot, I don't even consider Florida the South, right? But you guys did something amazing, and then combining all these spirits. How do you create an identity? How does that happen? How do you stay focused on an identity? What is your main identity? Are you a brewery?
Our mission statement when we first started was to produce some of the world's greatest beer while making a contribution to the community, or basically while making friends with our community.
Got it.
Now we want some of the world's best beer, and I say this because Monday Night Brewing has done something very noteworthy, which is we have gotten a triple crown.
Right.
A triple crown means that we have placed over the last 3 years in all 3 beer competitions. So the U.S. Cup, the American Beer Fest, and
Right.
the World Beer Cup. We have awards for every single category. And you ask what keeps us consistent. It is the eye on the prize of quality.
Wow.
And understanding that the community is what matters. Yep. So regardless of what we're doing, because like you said, we are eclectic. We like to keep a lot of different ideas going, and we like to be relevant. I think relevancy is very important to being sustainable in the hospitality industry.
Yep.
However, you cannot sacrifice quality, and you can't sacrifice your people. So those are our shining beacons, and those are the things that I'm most passionate about in my personal life. So for me, it was a great synergy of it just fit in.
Because many
People and products.
many businesses over the years, we achieve the success, level of success, and we think that's the success. But after that, we forget about people. Our product going a little bit down, and after it's dramatically done, and we just cut the coupons from the name, which we create back in the days. So this is like very important pivotal statement, just to keep the product, legit product, keep the people, because people make the place, and you know, just keep growing with the great
Yeah, this
product.
404 that we're drinking right here.
Exactly, I was about to say that, but go.
So 404 area code, right? ATL. So shout out to the ATL 404, and we're drinking this in the CLT, Queen City. But 404, this was the first brew, or
No, so 404 was released last year, and actually with 404, we have founded we have co-founded a foundation which is all about give back to the 404 area code.
Nice.
So this beer is one of the beers that we do not sacrifice quality. However, we are able to give an amazing product at a decent price point to where we are able to give a lot back to the community.
right? I love it.
Healthy balance, you know.
Very nice, and it's a lager. It's 4.04% ABV. So,
Coincidence?
yeah, there you go. And it's nice. It's light. It's got a nice transparency. Great lacing. Honestly, it's nerve-wracking. This is like my third. I need to stop after that. I've already gone to the bathroom like 3 times. Yes.
Well, this is probably my fourth. So
I'm
and
not gonna say because my wife will gonna watch this episode. So I would say the first one, so far so good. My older more. No, but the most important today, because this one support the Santiago Strong Foundation today.
It
right?
is Santiago
and this is
Strong.
Like legendary
absolutely.
in my vocabulary. So I absolutely love it.
That's one of the coolest things about 404 is not only can we utilize a beer like this, it's very popular and delicious. But
It is delicious.
Easy summerish drink.
But it's a great
give
beer
it back to the
for
community
pizza.
so well. Oh yes.
So one of the things that you guys have going on here, and I'm not sure if it's everywhere else, but the vibe here is the pizza.
Yeah.
I mean, the first thing I did was have pizza before I had beer when I came in. So how do you how did pizza come to the equation?
All right, so I'm very passionate about pizza. I'm very passionate about everything.
Same
we
here.
do here.
That's a religion in my opinion.
I eat
Passion?
pizza
No,
all the
pizza
time.
is a religion.
Passion.
Pizza.
No, pizza is a religion after that passion.
So our pizza is modeled after the Neapolitan style pizza, which I'm sure you're very familiar with.
Napolitan.
00 flour is the correct flour. It's the very, very fine flour. You use it in a wood-fired oven. And these ovens we imported from Italy. They were tiled in New York. They made it all the way down here, and we're put in our kitchen. We make our dough from scratch. And when I talk about the 00 flour, ours is a 00 flour and sourdough blend, which makes ours a little special.
That sounds Polish.
It's I've never been to Poland, so
Listen,
I'm
you
gonna
have
have
to.
to.
Beautiful country.
I knew there was going to be a segment on Poland
No,
here.
it's we all about sourdough.
I love sourdough.
And beer.
All right, I'm going.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, so ours is a sourdough crust. We import our tomatoes, San Marzano tomatoes.
Nice.
If you're familiar, those are the true Neapolitan style Italian tomato. And it's all scratch ingredients. And we try to bring in local. So our mushrooms are from a local farmer. Shout out Lane and Kim. Our honey, we get it from a local bee, apiary. Shout out Busy Bee Farm.
Nice.
So there's a lot that we do that we're very passionate about, not only in our beer, not only in our bar, but our kitchen. Everything is made from scratch, all of our sauces, pizza's good.
You guys have a very centric vibe that very few companies have achieved. You know, when you come in here, you don't feel anything other than welcoming. So I gotta applaud you guys for such a wonderful effort to bring in such a mentality that, yeah, you know what, we're here to serve. How do you manage that, and how do you keep that culture alive?
Honestly, just as our guests like adapting to the changes around them, I think your people need you to adapt to the changes around them as well.
Yeah.
It takes a commitment from the team that's leading, the team that's supporting your guests. And the commitment is, as a leader, you need to show up to say, How can I give my team the tools that they need to be successful? How can I train them with all the knowledge that they can be successful?
Right. Yep.
How can I show up for them and show them what success looks like? And the last one that nobody likes to hear, how can I hold them accountable? And accountability comes in two ways. It either is a correction when things aren't going the right way, or it's praise, saying, "Oh my gosh, this is so wonderful. Please keep this going." So it's like it's a constant drive. Like you just have to be fully engaged and aware of what's happening, and
I love that.
It's
and
the leaders you have on the front lines with your troops.
That's so great.
In a business like that and in teams like that, quite often when we achieve some kind of level of success, we forget about this praise. You know, like they're like, guys, you did a great job. You are great. We love it. You got it over there. Go, have fun. Like, you know, we forget it because we already good. You know, forget about it. No, we have to praise. We have to cherish. We have to say yes. We are the best. We are the best. Not the digitalic reference.
Well, I want to just wrap up and say thank you very much for having us here. It's been a true treat, and we look.
You guys for like another hour.
I could too.
I was like, I have so much still to say.
And we probably will, but
exactly.
We really want to thank Monday Night Brewing for hosting us. The Travel People Podcast is something that has started evolving more than just travel. Flights on Flights has been a theme that Travis Bizzell came up and jumped on, but I really am grateful for you hosting us, and especially for having Santiago Strong here represented. It's a near and dear organization, so thank you very much to everyone who's going to be donating, I hope, to the Santiago Strong Foundation. But more importantly, thank you to Monday Night Brewing.
We're going to match $1 donation of every 404 sold today.
How beautiful. Let's go, guys.
Let's go.
Drink, let's have fun.
Cheers, guys.
Let's support.
Cheers.
Cheers. Na zdrowie.
Steph is tall. Steph's a big guy, man. But yeah,
And then when Santiago realized who his wife was, he was like, oh.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Today, so I love to be part, honored, you know, and let's go. Let's make a big. Listen, I'm gonna create a special song about for you guys.
Oh, a song?
One day.
Wait,
I heard the lyrics have to be really deep and meaningful, so I have to say that right. Deeper than all.
So you already said you were doing, what is it, like a hip hop? Or what's kind of your genre?
No, it was all, for me, it was all about hip hop.
Oh, it's hip hop. Oh, it's hip hop? Okay, so if it's hip hop, can you show us a little bit of your current art? Like,
listen, you have to watch the opening act of this.
Let's go. You got a camera on you right here. Let's go.
No,
Are we going to start at 30?
You gotta turn the woman down, and you gotta do something different.
Let's go.
I can do Polish for you if you like.
Okay.
Do it Polish. Okay, let's go. Oto wychodzi, to nie zawodzi, w głowie się urodzi nasza współpraca. Wspólne z Santiago Foundation, leczenie po melanżu pracy. Zawsze wspólnie napijemy się browara, może trafię się wino, ale się stara. Ale już robicie niesamowite rzeczy i zawsze będę was wspierał, bo jesteście kochani i tu na rzeczy.
I need that footage.
And now use the good.
So it's your boy JV here, Dom, and we're here with Ernesto Hernandez.
Salud.
So as we wrap up this beautiful podcast that we did here at Monday Night Brewing
Legendary.
in Charlotte. Yeah, man, it was legendary.
It was legendary.
I got a guy hanging over my shoulder, by the way.
Listen, what's up, bro? Yeah.
So
Apparently
this is the mascot.
He traveled more countries than us. You know?
Yeah, I mean, this guy's traveled the world. Let's bring him down here. Let's make him comfortable.
Yeah, bro.
Let's set him up. But we wanted to give a shout out to Ernesto for making this connection with Monday Night Brewing so that we can feature Santiago Strong.
Yeah.
So, you know, we really appreciate not only your sponsorship through Carolina Outdoor Clothing, but, you know, the great need and awareness to network, not just a cause, but a great brewery. I mean, wow.
Yeah.
I think this is perfect for today's episode because it's getting us away a little bit from home.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Technically, say in the backyard of Fort Mill, but it's close enough to where that giving hand from Monday Night Brewing, it's willing to do what they do. I mean, they're from Atlanta,
Yep.
Yeah, man.
North Carolina, but helping folks who are out of state, Fort Mill, but the way they're giving back to us, man. But
Yeah, that's absolutely
time, money back to the beer.
beautiful. Beautiful.
Help out a lot with the foundation for sure.
Yeah, I really appreciate this connection because it did more than just connect us with their product. And of course, Amanda is amazing. And she is not the GM. Her title, obviously, as you saw,
I can't even repeat the title.
I can't even repeat.
It's above
It's so,
and beyond and beyond.
It's too smart for my vocabulary.
What am I gonna say?
But she's such an
Polish
amazing person, such an amazing spirit.
Knowledgeable, and love it.
True feature of the brewery.
Exactly.
But what's next, guys? What do you think is next?
I don't know. Right now, I would say like this episode was like deeper than ocean. Like Ernesto mentioned, we escaped our comfort zone. We went to the South End, Charlotte.
Yeah, man.
We totally flipped the script. Interviewing Santiago Strong, and I absolutely love it. I had that
That's
goosebumps
so cool.
through the episode. I
Yeah.
had goosebumps like crazy. And before episode, I was crying like a little baby. So I would say right now is the sky's the limit.
Yeah, man.
We're gonna accelerate and we're going somewhere else, but where? I don't know. But
I mean, if you out there, social media people, what do you want to see us next?
yeah, exactly. Let us know.
Let us
comment.
know. Comment, like, share, please.
Give us
go
ideas.
on there.
We like to collaborate. We like to support. We like to see, guys, we are all for you. So
But
let us know.
it truly is an homage to what we do, right? Me as a travel advisor, I'm always challenging my client. What's next? What do we do next? How do we make it more
Next
epic,
venture, yeah.
right? And then for you, selling real estate right now, it's a challenge because you want to challenge your clients to move forward and really seek out that comfort, that dream home, that fantasy, that lifestyle that they've seeked out.
Yeah, exactly.
And with Ernesto, he has always challenged individuals to be better in life.
Precisely.
And he's someone who's always challenged me to be better in life.
That's how we're supposed to, encourage with each other, like challenge, like do better, one step higher, one more, like rule of one more, like I believe that Ed Mallet said, like one more. You're like, okay, I'm fine. No, one more. You can do better one, Ernesto, you can do a little slightly better. Dominic definitely can do better,
So I want to wrap us up by saying, look, I want to thank our other sponsor, Matt Gleaves again with Confined Space Coffee, doing some amazing things for mental health programs. And we'll have more information coming out to you on how you can participate in purchasing Confined Space Coffee products and their merch. And we'll throw that on the socials. But also shout out to Cruise Planners, the company I run, for sponsoring the show. Shout out to Ernesto Hernandez with Carolina Outdoor Clothing, and shout out to Dominic Levinsky, who can sell a home, buy a home, do whatever type of home. And wait, he's a hip hop artist in disguise.
I'm always surrounded by people who love helping people, from the music industry to the real estate.
Let's
we
go.
are here to help you.
Let's go.
We can relocate, we can send you to vacation, we can give you the best clothing, from F&B environment to the place. We're here. We got a full package on this couch.
Let's go. That's a wrap, guys. Thank you.
Salud.
Peace.
Thank you so much.
Man, this couch is comfortable. Like I could vibe.